Lisa.
And I'm Kira.
And you're watching Polymer Clay TV.
You can find us online at polymerclaytv.com.
And you can find us at polymerclayclassroom.com.
And craftedonline.com.
And don't forget about our network, polymerclay.ning.com.
So enjoy the show.
Hi everybody, welcome to Polymer Clay TV. Today we're talking about color and color mixing. And there's this new book out called Polymer Clay Color Inspirations, Techniques and Jewelry Projects for Creating Successful Palettes. And it's by Lindley Hunani and Maggie Maggio. And if you are interested in color and you want to really get an in-depth look into color, this is a great book. There's all kinds of things in here. They discuss the color wheel. They discuss how to mix colors. I mean, they really get in-depth into the different, things about color. So if you really want to learn about color, you can pick up all kinds of color books, or you can try this book, which has all kinds of, it's like a workbook, so you can try all different kinds of things and see what works for you and see what you like. And it's a really good resource, and there's a lot that you can find in your local library as well on color. One of the things I wanted to discuss was how color can look good next to one color and not next to another. And what I mean by that is, say you have a black color in a cane that you're making. If you went and took this dark blue and you put it next to it and you roll the clay down, you're going to lose these two colors. It's going to all look like just like a dark black. But say you take that black and you take that yellow, and you see how they pop next to each other. So that's something you have to take into consideration when you're putting colors next to each other. Now, you can study the color wheel and you can study all those different things, but the fact of the matter is, you really have to just put the clay up to each other and see how it's going to look. It just, you just want that contrast. Whenever you're making a cane, you need to have the contrast between the colors, or you're going to lose that color. For instance, here we go again. Here's a black and a purple. These colors are too dark next to each other. When you roll it down into a cane, you're going to lose that purple. It's going to just look black. But if, say, you put the white next to the purple, you can see there's enough contrast there that you're not going to lose those colors. Or even the yellow next to the purple. Or even this turquoise. So you have to really consider what color you're going to put next to that color, and you want it to pop. Because if you don't have that pop, it's going to really just look dark, and you're not going to be able to see the colors in the cane. So one of the things you can do when mixing colors is you can create your own little template to go by. So when you're mixing a color and you like it, you can go back and duplicate that color. So let me just show you a little bit here. Here's a piece of black and here's a piece of white. I can take a piece of black and say half of that piece of white, and I mix these together and I'm going to get like a grayish color. So Primo is measured out in little quadrants. Let me show you that so you have an idea. There's 4 little quadrants, and one of the things it's good for is for mixing. So say you wanted to have 1 part brown, 1 part white, you would cut each one of these pieces into quadrants and you have a better idea of knowing how much you used. So you could cut it in half, you could cut a quarter of this, and that would help you in your color mixing so you can remember that. So here, let me just show you what I mean when I mix these black and this white together. You can mix the colors by twisting them, and you have to do this a few times to really get the colors blended. You can roll it through your pasta machine, that'll help to speed up the process. But you can also do it with your hands if you don't have a pasta machine. Just keep rolling it and twisting it until you get it into one color. And here I'm going for like a grayish color. But you're going to need a little cookie cutter. And I also have these little Kemper cutters as well, because one of the things is you can create these little cuts with your cookie cutter, and then I can put a little hole through it, and then I can get this chain, that they use for fan pulls, and I can string all these little pieces onto it so I have my whole set of different colors that I've mixed. And I have something to go back on and see, oh, I mixed this part black with this part white to achieve this color or whatever. So you keep a notebook and you can number these. This one could be number 1, and it can correspond in my notebook saying number 1 was this part black, this amount of white. And then if I want to recreate that color again, I have that guide to get the same amount of clay, to use the same amount of clay over again to create that color that I had created before. So it's a good idea to keep a record of the colors you're mixing so you can then recreate them. So let me show you what I mean by this. Here I've got the black and the white mixed together, and it's like a gray. So I can roll this out with my roller into a flat, or I can actually run it through the pasta machine, whatever you choose to do. And then I'm going to use my cookie cutter, make a round circle, and then take this little Kemper cutter and put a hole in it. So now I can fire this, string it through, and just keep adding to this all the colors that I've created. So this one I would take a Sharpie marker and I'd put number 1, and I'd say it was 1 part black and half a part white to achieve this color. So it's a great way to keep track of your colors. Definitely check out that book I showed you. It's a great resource, and there's plenty more in your local library. And just play around with color. You can also use inclusions. You can say use some red glitter or maybe some green glitter or whatever and achieve a color, and then keep track of that. Create these little discs. It's a great way to do it, and you saw how easy it was, just a cookie cutter and a Kemper cutter. Fire it, and now you've got a record of the color you've created. You have a corresponding notebook that tells you exactly what you used to achieve that color. So then there's no more guessing involved. You can always go back and say, okay, I used this, that, and the other, or whatever to create that color, and I really like that color. It would look great with this yellow or whatever, and you just have a really good resource that way. So have fun with it and get color mixing.